What if the miracles you've been praying for are already happening around you, but your own doubt is keeping you from seeing them? In today's fast-paced, logic-driven world, skepticism is the silent thief, robbing us of the extraordinary moments God places in our path. Could it be that our modern mindset is not only blinding us but actively sabotaging our ability to experience the fullness of His presence? Today, we're diving into the mysterious and often misunderstood realm of miracles, examining whether they're real, misunderstood, or simply overlooked in our daily lives. Together, we'll uncover how skepticism has reshaped our perspective and find ways to recognize the divine amidst the ordinary. By the end of this journey, you'll be equipped to discern the miraculous in a way that could transform your spiritual walk forever. If this resonates with your heart, make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notifications. Let's walk this path of faith together, exploring the unseen and the eternal. If you're someone who loves to dive deep into the mysteries of faith and uncover the spiritual truths hidden beneath the surface of our everyday lives, then you're in the right place. This channel is dedicated to exploring profound questions, connecting scripture with modern life, and helping you grow in your walk with God. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the transformative content we're sharing here. Together, we'll navigate this journey of faith, uncovering insights that can shape your perspective and strengthen your spirit. What truly defines a miracle? Is it a dramatic intervention in nature, an unexplainable event, or something more subtle yet equally divine? For centuries, miracles have been seen as the ultimate proof of God's power, but in today's world, they're often dismissed as myths or coincidences. Could it be that our understanding of miracles has become too narrow, leaving us blind to the ways God is still working today? Consider the story of Jesus turning water into wine at the wedding in Cana, John 2:1-11. This wasn't just an act of provision. It was a sign pointing to His divine authority. Yet how often do we, like the guests at that wedding, focus on the result and miss the deeper message? Modern life is filled with distractions that keep us from recognizing the miraculous. Perhaps it's not that miracles have ceased, but that we've stopped looking for them with open hearts. Think about the moments in your own life where you've experienced something extraordinary. Was it pure chance, or was it God's hand guiding you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if this is resonating with you, take a moment to like this video. Your feedback is what keeps these conversations alive and impactful. And as we reflect on the miraculous, let's explore a pressing question. In an age of doubt, why has skepticism become the dominant lens through which we view the world? Why is it that in a world so advanced, where science and technology have unlocked countless mysteries, skepticism seems to have replaced wonder? Could it be that our reliance on logic and proof has pushed us further away from the miraculous? The modern era has cultivated a mindset where we trust data over faith, and as a result, we often dismiss anything that defies explanation. Romans 1:20 reminds us that God's invisible qualities, His eternal power and divine nature, are clearly seen in creation, leaving humanity without excuse. Yet in a society fixated on tangible evidence, these signs are often overlooked. The sunsets that paint the sky, the intricacies of a newborn's first breath, these moments hold the fingerprints of the Creator, but how often do we pause to acknowledge them? Consider how media and culture contribute to this skepticism. Sensationalized stories and fraudulent claims about miracles have made society wary, creating a climate of doubt even within the church. But here's the challenge. Are we letting these external influences dictate how we view God's power? If this discussion is sparking something in you, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments and like this video. Your engagement helps us build a community that seeks truth and grows together in faith. As we continue, let's dive into a deeper question. How do we discern between genuine miracles and mere coincidences? Could it be that the answer lies not in logic, but in the posture of our hearts? How can we tell the difference between a miracle and a coincidence? Is there a way to discern the divine from the mundane, or are we simply interpreting random events through the lens of faith? This question challenges the core of our understanding of God's involvement in our lives. Take a moment to reflect on those instances when something incredible happened to you or someone close to you. Maybe it was narrowly avoiding an accident, receiving unexpected help in a desperate moment, or a medical recovery doctors couldn't fully explain. Were those events purely coincidental, or was there a higher power orchestrating the outcome? In John 20:29, Jesus says, "Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed." This speaks directly to the tension between doubt and faith. Coincidences, in the eyes of skeptics, are nothing more than statistical anomalies. But for those walking in faith, they are often glimpses of God's intricate plan, a reassurance that He is present, even in the details. Yet discernment is key. While we must remain open to the miraculous, we're also called to exercise wisdom and humility. As Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, trusting in the Lord with all our hearts means leaning not on our own understanding, but acknowledging Him in all our ways. If these reflections are stirring something within you, take a moment to hit the like button and comment below. Share your own experiences of moments that felt too extraordinary to be mere coincidence. Let's create a space for testimony and shared encouragement. Next, we'll confront an even more provocative question. How do philosophical and logical reasoning interact with our belief in miracles? Are faith and reason truly incompatible, or is there room for both in our understanding of the divine? Can reason and faith coexist, or are they destined to be at odds when it comes to understanding miracles? Philosophers like David Hume argued that miracles violate the natural order and should therefore be dismissed as improbable, if not impossible. But does this mean that a belief in the supernatural is irrational, or are we missing something deeper? C.S. Lewis offers a powerful perspective in his book, Miracles. He explains that the natural world, with all its laws and regularities, is not an obstacle to miracles, but a canvas upon which God occasionally chooses to paint something extraordinary. Miracles don't break the laws of nature. They reveal the Creator's sovereignty over them. They are, in essence, divine interruptions. Think about the story of Lazarus in John 11. From a purely logical standpoint, the idea of raising a man from the dead is impossible, yet Jesus' act wasn't meant to conform to human reason. It was meant to glorify God and strengthen the faith of those who witnessed it. Could it be that our dependence on logic sometimes limits our ability to see beyond the physical? Faith isn't about rejecting reason. It's about transcending it. It's about embracing a reality where the Creator's ways are higher than ours. Isaiah 55:8-9. True wisdom lies in recognizing that reason and belief are not enemies but companions, each pointing us toward a deeper understanding of God's purposes. If you're finding this perspective helpful, don't forget to hit like and comment below. Let us know how you reconcile faith and logic in your spiritual journey. Now let's take this discussion further. Can doubt actually play a role in strengthening our faith? Could it be that questioning is not a sign of weakness, but an opportunity for growth? Let's explore that next. Is doubt an obstacle to faith, or could it be a stepping stone toward a deeper relationship with God? For many, questioning their beliefs feels like a betrayal of faith. But what if doubt is actually an essential part of the journey? Consider Peter walking on water in Matthew 14:28-31. When Peter took his first steps, his faith was strong. But as soon as he noticed the wind and waves, doubt crept in, and he began to sink. Yet, instead of condemning Peter, Jesus reached out and saved him. This story illustrates that doubt doesn't disqualify us from God's grace. It can serve as a reminder of our dependence on Him. In our spiritual lives, doubt often arises when we face situations that challenge our understanding of God's ways. But questioning isn't inherently bad. It can push us to seek answers and build a stronger foundation for our faith. In James 1:2-4, we are encouraged to see trials as opportunities for growth, knowing that perseverance through challenges leads to maturity. Doubt becomes a problem only when we allow it to paralyze us instead of propelling us forward. The key is to bring our questions to God, trusting that He welcomes our honesty and will guide us to the truth. Faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting the one who does. If this resonates with you, take a moment to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments. How has doubt played a role in your spiritual growth? Let's encourage one another with our stories. Next, we'll explore how recognizing God in the smallest details of life can transform our understanding of His presence. Could it be that the miraculous is far closer than we realize? Let's find out. What if the greatest miracles are hidden in the smallest details of our everyday lives? While we often look for grand, unmistakable signs of God's presence, could it be that His hand is most evident in the quiet, ordinary moments? Jesus speaks in Luke 12:6-7 about how not even a single sparrow falls to the ground without the Father's knowledge, and how every hair on our heads is numbered. This profound truth reminds us that God is deeply involved in the minutiae of our lives. The rising sun, the smile of a stranger, or an unexpected word of encouragement, each of these can be seen as a reflection of His care. Too often, we overlook these moments because we're waiting for something extraordinary. But as Elijah learned in 1 Kings 19:11-13, God wasn't in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire. He was in the gentle whisper. Perhaps we've been searching for the miraculous in the wrong places. The challenge is to cultivate spiritual sensitivity, training ourselves to see God's fingerprints in the seemingly mundane. By doing so, we not only grow in gratitude, but also in faith, recognizing that He is always at work, even when we don't perceive it immediately. If this perspective shifts how you view your daily life, like this video and share in the comments how you've experienced God in the small details. Your stories can inspire others to open their eyes to the miracles around them. As we move forward, let's bring these reflections together. How do all these insights connect, and what practical steps can we take to embrace the miraculous in our lives? Let's summarize and dive deeper into their implications. Every topic we've explored today: what defines a miracle, the role of skepticism, the tension between faith and reason, the power of doubt, and recognizing God in the small things, leads to one central truth. Miracles are not just about extraordinary events. They are about seeing the divine in every aspect of life, even when it defies explanation or expectation. Think about how this understanding can transform your daily walk with God. Instead of waiting for monumental signs, begin to notice His presence in the details. The quiet moments of peace during chaos, the unexpected provision during need, or the strength to endure challenges. These are not mere coincidences. They are whispers of a loving God who is deeply involved in your journey. Romans 8:28 reminds us that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. This doesn't mean life will always make sense, but it does mean that He is always at work. Recognizing this truth can reshape how we respond to difficulties, encouraging us to seek Him even when the outcome is unclear. So how can you apply these insights practically? Start by keeping a journal of moments where you see God's hand at work, no matter how small they may seem. Reflect on scriptures that remind you of His presence, and most importantly, make space in your life for gratitude, because a grateful heart is more attuned to the miraculous. If these reflections have spoken to you, like this video and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's encourage one another to live with eyes wide open to God's work in our lives. Now, as we near the climax of this conversation, let's delve deeper into the emotional and spiritual impact of embracing the miraculous. How can this perspective not only change how we see the world, but also how we live in it? Let's explore that together. At its core, the belief in miracles isn't about what happens around us. It's about what happens within us. When we choose to see the hand of God in our lives, it transforms not only our perspective but also our faith. It shifts us from skepticism to trust, from doubt to confidence, and from fear to hope. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Miracles are a retelling in small letters of the very same story, which is written across the whole world in letters too large for some of us to see." This profound thought reminds us that miracles are not isolated events, but glimpses of the grand narrative of God's love and redemption. Imagine how this truth could change the way you live. Instead of walking through life focused on what's missing or what's wrong, you begin to notice the beauty of God's provision, even in the midst of challenges. You start to trust that every moment, whether joyous or painful, is part of a divine plan that is far greater than you can comprehend. So here's a question for you. Are you willing to open your heart to the possibility that miracles are happening every day? That your prayers are being answered in ways you might not yet understand? Faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting the one who does. If this reflection resonates with you, share this video with someone who needs encouragement today. Let's spread this message of hope and remind others of the miracles present in their own lives. As we wrap up, let's focus on practical steps to embrace this perspective fully. How can you start living with an awareness of the miraculous in your everyday life? Let's uncover that next. Living with an awareness of the miraculous begins with a simple yet profound shift. Choosing to see life through the lens of faith. It's about training your heart and mind to recognize that God's presence is not confined to dramatic events, but permeates every corner of your life. Let's start with this practice. Each day, write down 3 moments where you saw God's hand at work. It could be a kind word from a friend, an opportunity you didn't expect, or even a moment of clarity in prayer. Over time, you'll begin to notice how much He is involved in the details. Another step is to bring your doubts and questions to God honestly. Instead of letting them create distance, let them draw you closer. In Philippians 4:6-7, we are reminded to present our requests to God with thanksgiving, trusting that His peace will guard our hearts and minds. This peace is itself a miracle in a world full of anxiety. Lastly, surround yourself with reminders of God's promises. Read scriptures, engage with a faith community, and seek out stories of His work in others' lives. These practices keep your focus on Him and encourage you to remain expectant. If you found this journey meaningful, share this video with someone who could benefit from these reflections. Together, we can spread the hope of seeing God's work in the everyday. As you step into this perspective, remember that you're not alone. God's presence is always near, and miracles are not just rare occurrences. They are evidence of His constant care. Let's conclude with a message of inspiration and a suggestion for what's next on this journey of faith. Miracles aren't always about parting seas or healing the blind. Sometimes, they're found in the quiet assurance that God is with you, guiding every step. They're woven into the fabric of your life, in the love of family, the beauty of creation, and the hope that carries you through even the darkest moments. Choosing to see these moments as divine is an act of faith that transforms not only your perspective, but your entire life. As C.S. Lewis reminds us, faith is the art of holding on to things your reason has once accepted, in spite of your changing moods. So, as you move forward, hold on to the truth that God is at work in every detail, whether you see it or not. If today's discussion inspired you, don't stop here. Check out our video on the role of doubt in strengthening faith, where we explore how questioning God can lead to a deeper relationship with Him. Or dive into faith versus science, bridging the gap, where we discuss how these two realms can coexist in the life of a believer. Remember to like, comment, and share this video with someone who needs a reminder of God's presence in their life. And always remember, faith isn't just about seeing miracles, it's about living as though every moment is one. Stay blessed and continue seeking Him in all things.